Welcome everybody to the finale of the Verizon Indycar series live from Homestead Miami Speedway. Today, this will be the final race of the Verizon Indycar series, and after today we will find out who exactly will be driving the 017 car in the new series that is named the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Series. Can't say it. The Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series will be starting here very soon, as we still have a lot of drivers' cars being painted and should be able to be starting here very soon, actually. As you can see on the left side of your screen, you can see Anthony Finch, Ben Crouch, and Vase Valiant, Kevin Martin, and Jimmy Neutron, the top 5 fastest cars of today's race. These drivers are going to be looking their best. They're going to try and be their best they can possibly be for this last race. So very aggressive drivers. You gotta know that it's going to be very difficult for these drivers, that it could potentially be their last race on this PRN circuit. Names such as Cletus Nolan, Cletus Nolan, Dylan Rush, the Muffin Man, Ryan Dawkins, Salmon Graham, Eli Gordon, Nicholas McCoy. You gotta know that those drivers and a lot of others are worried that they may not be able to race in many other series, as they are not eligible to sign up in the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Series. See the lineup here. We have all 41 drivers in today's race. They're all going to try their hardest to get the win today. Anybody could win it. Who will it be? Let's take it to the command to get this race started in today's race. Take it to the pace car after the command to get the engines fired. Here's the command to get this race started.
In honor of the Highway Patrol's 75 years of service, gentlemen, start your engines.
Guys, let's go out there and have some fun today. Just like I said today in the meeting, you know, this is a good racetrack. It's a good place for us. I think the pit crew is ready to go. Let's go have some fun.
All drivers have rolled off on the field. We will take it to these pace car right now. They're coming off pit road. You gotta wonder what these drivers are going to be feeling like, as this could be their last opportunity to get a victory in today's race. Whoever wins it will be able to be eligible to race in the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series. It'll be a crazy race in today's race, as Homestead Miami is known for having such a great race. We'll have to find out and see what it will be like in today's race. As we are using the banked version, we will definitely be seeing some crazy action. Well, it's not too much baking though, but still, banked, I think. This is not a very long pace lap for it being a full pace lap. So we're going to head it to Anthony Finch. Anthony Finch won Freeway Super Speedway, which was the second race of this season. Could his day come, as he could potentially win it here at Homestead? The green flag is about to wave. Buggity. Let's go racing one more time, boys. Jimmy Neutron's going to try and take it 3 wide, entering turn 1 for the 3rd spot. Vase Valiant had no idea he was going to come there. And Jimmy Neutron being very aggressive, entering the 1st turn. He went from being just outside the top 5 to being up to 2nd, trying to take the lead away from Anthony Finch. 3 wide for several rows back there. Remember, the winner of today's race will go to the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series with a good ride. Good looking one too. 1 and 2 Anthony Finch. Jimmy Neutron separated by just 1/10 of a second. No more, no less. Still up to the bumper of that 12 car is the number 35 car. Jimmy Neutron making a move for the lead here. Jimmy Neutron would love nothing more than to win this series championship so he can move on up to the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Series. It would definitely be a different set of aerodynamics and chassis and all that. Sort of Larry McReynolds type of shit for Jimmy Neutron. No stupid sets of rules. It's just your win and you're in the Mountain Dew Kickstarter series. We have several drivers already signed up for the series, as well as there's a lot of drivers that are looking to get their names known in that series. A lot of drivers were wanting to get into that series, and only 38 drivers could sign up for that series. As we also had one driver who wanted to get their name early into the series. Jimmy Neutron trying to make it a championship win and get into the series by winning this race. But don't look now, as here comes Bob Ross. Bob Ross also had a chance at racing during the Wheel and Late Model Modified series, but he decided to step down and just focus on the Indycar series. But after this, you could potentially see him being back into the Wheel and Late Model Modified series if he does not end up winning this race. It may happen, it may not happen. Maybe Bob Ross will head back to New Smyrna, Florida, and just decide to live out the rest of his life there. Right now, it is just the battle between Jimmy Neutron and Bob Ross. Bob Ross in turn 3 trying to take the lead. These laps are going by really, really quickly. The times are about 37 seconds here. Side by side for the lead. A little bump in between Bob Ross and Jimmy Neutron. Very, very close. Very close on that lap. Very dead even. And I'm saying that dead even because they were about 1,000th close. Bob Ross was 1,000th quicker than Jimmy Neutron that time by. Whoever wins this race will get into the new series, the Mountain Dew Kickstarter series. After this race, all 41 of these drivers could rest up and go home for the rest of the month, as we are taking that PRN break just so we can rest up from all the commentating, from all the driving, from everything. FidMe Cup Series is also being the one on the break during it. All series have been on hold due to the drivers wanting to take a break, and I just gave it to them. Seven laps completed. Bob Ross has a great lead over Jimmy Neutron. As we take a look at the battle for the second spot here. Jimmy Neutron being battled by the 3 car of Hoferber. Hoferber wrecked out in last week's Tennessee Super Speedway race. Well, he didn't wreck out, he just wrecked, and it cost him a lot of chances of winning that race. But now he's trying his best to get up and take the second spot away. It would be a great spot for him, but all he wants is a win, and he's in for the new series. Because he won't be able to go into that series, although he is a leech. But he has to wait till a majority of the races in to actually race in that series for the leech. Basically that. As you can tell that right now it's just going to be a crazy battle throughout the front of the field. But the position that you want to be in is in first. And that's where Bob Ross is right now, as he has about a second lead over J.J. Hoferber. It's a little less than a second that time by. About 0.5 of a second, about 0.6 from there. Could we see Hoferberg get his way into this series full time, or will he have to go part time due to leeching? That will have to be the case, and we will find out then. He's really catching up on Bob Ross. A lot of help behind him. But will he be able to take the lead away here early on? 10 laps have been completed in today's race. 57 laps to go in today's race. It's a crazy, crazy long race. But it won't be as long as some of the other races we've been doing. Bob Ross has the lead. I can't speak. He's held on to it after taking it away from Jimmy Neutron just about 5 laps ago. Bob Ross would love nothing more than to enter full time into that series, as if he does not win this race, he will not be able to get into that series at all, because he cannot. He is not eligible to sign up for that series, nor is any other drivers from the Pornhub Cup Series and the Piston Cup Series. If people drive, and I'm going to say this again, if people drive in the Twisted Tea Truck Series race, and that's it, or the series, and that's their only series, then they're able to sign up. But if they're in the Twisted Tea Truck Series, but also in the Piston Cup Series, they are also not going to be able to get in it. Right now, Bob Ross has that lead. Will we be able to see this little 5-car win this race and head into the NASCAR Mountain Dew Kickstart Series? That will be answered here in a little while. But right now, we're going to take a quick commercial break in today's race. Bob Ross leads over J.J. Hoferber by about 0.6 of a second. What will happen in today's race, as we still have about 2/4 of the race left? We'll find out in today's race. I kind of said that wrong with the quarters. Few quarters of the way done, whatever. I don't care. Screw it. This is a Verizon Indycar Series finale here from Homestead, Miami Speedway. We'll be back in a moment, ladies and gentlemen.
The game's dragging on. There's strikes on the batter. Some runners are on. Then suddenly everyone's looking at me. My mind has been wondering, what could it be? They point to the sky and I look up above, and a baseball falls into my glove. I play right field. It's important you know. You gotta know how to catch. You gotta know how to throw. That's why I play in right field, way out where the dandelions grow.
As a proud sponsor of Little League Baseball, Pizza Hut welcomes all the kids who make it great.
Making it great.
Today's presentation of NASCAR Verizon Indycar Series, live from Homestead, Miami Speedway, is presented by Doritos. Feel the bold. Bob Ross has maintained that 0.6 of a second lead over J.J. Hoferber, although he's gained about 1/10 of a second, still being maintained over Bob Ross. Jimmy Neutron is maintaining third. After leading a lot of laps on the front, Jimmy Neutron has fallen down to third. And he has not gained so much time on Bob Ross. I mean, Hoferber has as well, but you just never know. 20 laps are about to be completed. 19 have been completed. We're about to get the 47 to go. Next time by would be 47 to go. Right now we got 48 to go. You just have to wonder what Bob Ross could be thinking of right now, as he would really, really, really love to get into the brand new series. Pit stops looking, maybe? Nope. Looked like it because they were going slow in that corner. Never mind. I thought they were going down pit road because it looked like they were going slow, but that's Oh my god, my voice. That's just how it is. Down the back stretch, Bob Ross goes. 21 laps about to be completed in today's race. Let's go to the back here. You can see a very slow car, Dylan Rush, not really looking really hot in today's race. Eric Foster, and I think that's Victor Munes. Just a lot of these drivers back here are really being aggressive, and they're really trying their hardest to stay up towards front. Sadly, and not the greatest place that a lot of these drivers are in right now. They really don't want to be here. They want to be in first. And you can see right here, there's a three-way right here trying to get their way up to the front there between Jimmy Neutron, Ryan Dawkins, and Griffin Lynn. You can go on board with him right now on the cockpit. You can see how much he's really trying his hardest to stay up towards the front here. Although that was really laggy for some reason. You can go on board with Hoferberg. You can see how much he's really trying his hardest to get up towards the front here. He's starting to close the gap. But will it be enough to get the win? And will it be enough to pass him before pit stops are going to happen? Because you know they're going to happen at least once in today's race. But when? When will they happen? You see right now that Hoferberg is really trying his hardest to pass Bob Ross. Although Hoferberg would be a leech, he doesn't want to stay out of the series and be in the series part-time. He wants to be in it full-time. Every driver in today's race wants to be a part of that Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series full-time. Some of these drivers are willing to take the leech, but they're only going to be in it about 2, if not 3 times, as they really want to do it about, 36 times. To be exact. How will this affect everything? We'll have to find out, as one of these drivers is going to get their way into the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series with the Verizon Indycar Championship ride, as it will be colored the IndyCar Series logo colors with the Verizon IndyCar Series logo on the hood. And also with some of the sponsors of the original car, like, let's say, for example, Hoferberg's car. He would have, let me get a good glimpse of the car. He would have, Pennzoil. He would have all his sponsors. But if Bob Ross were to win, he would have Dollar General sponsors. If you understand what I'm saying, that there would be other sponsors on there as well. It would be sponsored by whatever car wins this race. So let's say Bob Ross wins it, he would get the Dollar General sponsors. Dylan Rush would get whatever this is. Victor Munes get, you get the point. And on back, Jimmy Neutron, we get the Red Bull. United, I think that's United University or United, I don't know what that is. Just whatever sponsor is shown up on here, they would get them. If you understand what I'm saying here. Bob Ross has that lead, but now it's not being maintained by more than 0.6. It's being maintained by less than 0.3 of a second. This time by, we're about to get the 40 to go mark. 40 quick laps about to be complete. About to be the one. I can't speak. Sorry. 40 laps to go this time by. 40 is the number of laps that need to be completed in order of Bob Ross to win this race and enter his name into the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series. JJ Hoferberg trying to go full time into that. It's just 2 drivers battling it out towards front, as it's 2 seconds behind these drivers. Jimmy Neutron battles on. Go look at that battle, because I've seen a little bit of battle here. You can see that going on right here. You can see the battle persisting going right now. It's a bunch of blue drivers. They're trying their hardest to get up towards the front, but it's not going to work when they keep battling on, giving more time for these two up at the front here. Right now, Bob Ross is keeping an eye on Hoferber. Hoferber slowly but surely gaining on Bob Ross in that 5 car. But will that 3 car manage to take that 3 car? Will he take that 3 car to the win? The victory lane. Be able to win the championship. And be able to get his name entered full time into the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series. Fuck English. God damn, I need to get better at commentating. "29 laps completed as we enter lap 30. Gonna find out here whether or not Hoferber can manage to pull that 0.2 of a second lead to less than 0.2, maybe less than a tenth. Hoferber not gaining much of anything at all. Lap times are definitely being affected here. It started off 36 seconds. It has fallen to 40. Seconds on here. You can see 40 seconds, 41 second times. Yeah, about 40, 41. That's the most I could find on here. And then you can see these two. Fastest laps being shown by the number 5 of Bob Ross. On down, you can see that it's separated by about a second, I would say. Yeah, about a little less than a second. That separates Bob Ross in the 5. We go all the way down to the number 46. I think that's Dylan Rush. The lead's about to be separated by less than 0.2, but right now, it's still 0.2. The question will be whether or not pit stops will happen here soon. They'll probably happen at the halfway point of this race. The question will be whether or not Bob Ross will have a great pit stop and get that lead back, or will Hoferber, or will any other drivers really come out of pit road with the lead. Be a very surprising manner of who can win this race. As Bob Ross would love nothing more than to win this race, but Hoferber is also trying his hardest to get the win in today's race. It could happen. Anything could happen in this series. So let's see what's going to happen here. 3rd place really gaining on the 2 drivers up at the front. But right now it is still about 0.2 of a second lead over J.J. Hoferber. As the number 40 car in 3rd place has dropped that time to less than a second. We're about to have a 3-car battle for the lead in today's race, that's for sure. Bob Ross gained a little bit of ground on J.J. Hoferber on that back straightaway. The field is separated by about 1 second from 3rd to 4th. About 2 seconds maybe. These tires are definitely getting worn out. The question will remain as to whether or not these drivers are going to go down pit road or shortly. I guess I could say, we just passed the halfway point of this race. Although it's not really much of a halfway point. Not really much of a halfway point of this race. It looks like Hoferber and everybody behind him, or a few drivers behind him, it looks like going down pit road. Bob Ross will hang on to the leading spot right now. Bob Ross will lead a few laps as pit stops are happening, because like I said, we just hit the halfway point. Might as well go down pit road. So we get down into the pit cams here. You can see a lot of drivers from the back entering the pits right now. How will things shake up? We'll find that out. You see a lot of pit road drama on entering pit road. The thing that you want to do is you want to be careful when you enter pit road, and you want to be careful of everything. Let me put this back up here. So Bob Ross has that lead, and he has about a 2-second lead over the 7 car. You see a lot of drivers trying to get their stops in and get their stops done as quick as possible. Anthony Fincher, pole sitter, just not having such a great day at all. And it's not looking like he's having such a great stop. And it looks like a few drivers are coming down pit road this time. And a few drivers are staying out. It looks like Christian Gorman Jr. is going to go ahead and take his lap. Let's see, some drivers just got done entering in, so I just missed out on that pit cam. Whatever. See Bob Ross in the background there. I think that's Bob Ross trying to get his service in and done. Bob Ross will come out. Looks like he had a pretty good stop. Question will be as to whether or not he'll be able to keep his first spot alive once he gets out of pit road. 3 wide battle coming off there, looked like. You can just see how pit stops are definitely going to affect everything in today's race. As you can see, the 2 drivers that came down pit road the last time, or that didn't come down pit road the last time by, are coming off. I can't speak. Into pit road. It would look like the Muffin Man would be your leader this time by. Maybe. I think. Let's go ahead and look into this here. I'm not too sure. D. Vitalo is out there. It looks like Vitalo had a great stop. He went down pit road. So did Hoferber, Cameron Bush. It looks like Cameron Bush and Hoferber are going to be the 1-2 drivers, it looks like. I may be wrong. We'll find out this time by. Yep, Cameron Bush, your leader. JJ Hoferber in second. JJ Hoferber sticks it still in second spot, but right now, first spot's changed to Cameron Bush. Third place, Vitalo. Fourth place, the Muffin Man. Kyler Boggs, fifth. Tip Foster, sixth. Andy Webb, seventh. Bob Ross fell to eighth. Griffin Lynn, ninth. Ryan Dawkins, 10th. Recency up into the 11th spot. Jimmy Neutron in 12th. George Bowers, 13th. And that's about it. Up here, though, the battle for the lead is going on here. Second to third place is split by a few seconds. First to third split by 3.5 seconds. But first to second split by 6/10. JJ Hoferber trying his hardest to get up towards the front here. He's been second the entire race today. He would love nothing more than to get his way up to the front here. But Cameron Bush could be the one to win in today's race, which could be a crazy one as he would be entered into the NASCAR Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series. Mountain Dew Cup, I don't know. Kickstart series, whatever. It would kickstart his career, that's for sure. And a lot of other drivers' career. We've talked about that series a lot, so I might as well say that points are going to be a factor in that series, but we are going to be running the more modern championship series. So, yeah. You can go ahead and get mad at me for that, for doing that championship thing. But hey, got 27 laps to go. Right now, Hoferber is really gaining on that 40 car. Cameron Bush would love nothing more than to get the win in today's race, enter his name into the books, and get into the NASCAR Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series. That lead is split by less than 4.5 of a second. It'll be quite the race for the last 20 laps of today's race, as now it is split by less than 3/10. Hoferber is really gaining on Cameron Bush. He's really gaining on him. Really gaining on him through these turns. The back stretch is possibly the best spot that Hoferber's been in this entire race. He just did not get a good turn 3 entry that time, but he still has a lot of speed exiting that corner. Does he have what it takes to be able to get to the winner's circle and be able to get into the new series? The lead now shrunken down to 2.5 tenths of a second. You just gotta wonder what Cameron Busch is going through right now. His crew chief's probably telling him to hold off on the gas and the brakes. Just try to coast it in, save some fuel so he doesn't go down twice. But he also doesn't want to lose the lead over J.J. Hoferberg. J.J. Hoferberg, what must be going through his mind knowing that he's just 20 laps away from potentially taking first away from Cameron Busch. J.J. Hoferberg is a part of the Piston Cup Series and in fact being one of the most dominant drivers in that series. But he is ineligible, if that's a word. I think that's the right word usage. He is unable, let's say that, unable to sign up for the series. So this is his one and only opportunity to get into the NASCAR Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series. It's a little difficult to find that out as we still have about 23 laps to go in today's race. Anything could still happen. The lead is shrinking down to less than 2 tenths of a second. But the real question would be whether or not, if Hoferberg can catch up to Cameron, if he could pass the 40 car. Catching up to the driver's one thing, passing him is another thing. Because you may have a lot of speed to catch up to him, but if you just don't have the speed to get past the driver, then there's no point in even trying to get past for the lead. Although you would be helping out the drivers in the back trying to get their chances up, you're not helping yourself out if you're really trying to have a private one-on-one battle for the lead. Maintaining the gap less than 2 tenths of a second, J.J. Hoferberg trying to find his spot, pick his marks, hit his marks as well. Trying to take the lead away from this 40 car. Let's go ahead and let's head back to this car here and let's go on board with him here as he's going side by side for the lead. J.J. Hoferberg going for the lead side by side down the front stretch. You can see the 40 car right there. They're still side by side here, but the 40 car just has way too much momentum in front of him. Maybe 20 to go this time by. Helicopter cam will show you how close it is as they're side by side exiting turn 1. But Hoferberg is going to take the lead down the backstretch. J.J. Hoferberg will take the lead and clear him maybe? Nope, not clear him just quite yet. Well, I guess he's a little clear. And clear the 40 car as we hit the 20 to go mark in today's race. Question will be as to whether or not these drivers can make it the rest of the way down on fuel and tires. As you can see, the lap times have already worn off to 38 seconds per the last lap. That was 38 seconds on the last lap, so tires are definitely still wearing off. I can't speak. They're definitely wearing off, and maybe they'll have to come down pit road one last time to get down more tires and maybe fuel. Maybe then we'll find out if J.J. Hoferberg can make it on fuel and tires, and maybe he'll find his way to victory lane in today's race. With all that, we'll take a quick commercial break. J.J. Hoferberg takes the lead, increasing the lead over Cameron Busch. Less than 20 laps to go. What will happen then? We'll find out in a few moments. This is the NASCAR Verizon Indycar Series finale here at Homestead, Miami Speedway. We'll be back.
Don't go into the grass. Don't go into turn 3. Don't go into turn 3. God, no. Jerry, don't go into turn 3. Think of your wife. Think of your kids. Don't do it, Jerry. You have so much to live for. Don't go into turn 3. Jerry! Jerry! Why'd you do it, Jerry? Why'd you go into turn 3? We told you not to. No! Jerry! Kentucky Speedway, the most dangerous corner in NASCAR. Dramatic commercial is dramatic. Fuck me.
I love my work. I really have the best job in the world. Hey, how are you? Everyone that I have ever met likes everyday low prices.
I know if I came here, I got the best deal.
You can go into Walmart and know it's a huge team effort to ensure that you're getting these low prices.
It makes me feel like I've got somebody on my side.
On our 39th anniversary and every day of the year, always.
When I walk out of here with my receipt, I see my savings.
Everyone likes to save money. It makes you feel good.
Today's presentation of the series finale of the NASCAR Verizon Indycar Cup Series is presented by BP. We are a great gas company, but just too bad we dumped a lot of our gas into the Gulf of Mexico. JJ Hoferberg took the lead away from Cameron Busch after pit stops here just about a few laps ago, and has not looked back as it keeps increasing the lead. It went from 0.2 of a second when we went to commercial break to over 0.5 this time by. JJ Hoferberg has to just hold on about 13 to 14 more laps, and he will be able to get into the Mountain Dew Kickstart Series with no problem and full time. The issue being he will not be able to leach, but hey, you not being able to leach you're still able to win the championship. So I think you would rather want to go full time and be able to win a championship in a not so great car rather than being in a leach car and then potentially, winning a race and getting your 15 seconds of fame and not doing anything else. But yeah. So JJ Hoferberg will not be able to leach in the Kickstart Series if he's able to win this race. As like I said, Piston Cup Series drivers, Porno Cup Series drivers, and even IndyCar Series drivers cannot sign up in the Kickstart Series. Even if you are in other series that are not listed, but you're still in the 3 series that are listed, you're still restricted. Like I said. Because technically you're still in the Piston Cup Series. You get the point. Several drivers that are already in the PRN Series have only running in about a few series that are able to sign up. Case in point, the Wheel and Late Model Modified, the VidMe Cup Series, and the Twisted Tea Truck Series. Those drivers that are in those series that are not in any other series that is restricted are able to sign up and be able to get their chances of getting into the playoffs or getting into the you get the point. What, 12 laps to go coming this time by. JJ Hoferberg maintaining the 0.4 of a second lead over Cameron Busch. Cameron Busch probably went down earlier than JJ Hoferberg, and that's the reason why Hoferberg managed to catch up so quick to Cameron Busch to take the lead. Because he was having so much issues trying to get past Bob Ross when we dropped the green flag. But after pit stops, he passed Cameron Busch with little to no issues. Does that mean that Cameron Busch probably went down earlier than JJ Hoferberg? JJ Hoferberg has a lap of fresher tires, and by then, that would just mean that, tires are everything in this series and everywhere else. At the 10 to go mark, it's just 2 cars battling it out. A caution could really shake things up, but it's highly doubtful that we will probably get one. Bob Ross has moved his way up to 3rd, but I do not think it will be enough because he is still 4 seconds behind. He may have a few laps of fresher tires, but with 10 laps to go, it would take several laps of side-by-side action between these 2 drivers to get back up to the front of the field. But we hit the 10 to go mark. It's just down to these two drivers to find out who will be in the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series. It's going to be a crazy battle here, as this series is coming to a very, very, very shocking conclusion out of nowhere. As Cameron Busch is even trying his hardest to close the gap, but very slowly he is. Last time by was 4.5, 10-second lead. Now it's down to just 0.4. Maybe even closed it a little bit right there. Probably made it down less than 0.4 of a second. It looks like he is trying to close the gap just a little bit. He may be able to close it up and possibly be able to get the lead back. He closed that gap. It's down less than 0.4 here. 3.5, 10-second lead. JJ Hoferber really trying his hardest to consume a lot of tires and fuel, but will that hurt him? As he still has about 8 laps to go this time by. It would be the 8 to go mark. Cameron Busch would love nothing more than to get the win. Could we see a great battle for the win in today's race, or will we see Hoferber pull away and be able to get out towards the win, the most important win of his series at least? That time by, Cameron Busch did close the gap, but not by a lot, as he's still 3.5 tenths back. But on that turn, it looked like he closed it less than 3 tenths, but he just does not have a lot of back straightaway speed due to the tires. JJ Hoferber really trying his hardest to get this win. It would be one of his most important victories of this season. Possibly his career, unless he, does really well in the Piston Cup Series during the playoffs. JJ Hoferber may even have the early taste of championship victory if he's able to win today's race, but you just never know. Cameron Busch, we just keep talking about him losing a lot of ground when we came back from commercial break. Right now, he's gaining a lot of ground on the number 3 car of JJ Hoferber. JJ Hoferber had like a 6/10 of a second lead when he first passed him, and when we came back from commercial, it was like 6/10 in the lead. Now it's about to go less than 3/10 as we have about 5 laps to go. JJ Hoferber really trying his hardest to not make a mistake here. Right now, the gap is still stuck to 3/10 of a second. Cameron Busch really trying to be aggressive, but will aggressive go around? We'll have to find out and see what's going to happen here. We've been green this entire race. Question will also remain as to whether or not Hoferber can make it the rest of the way. He went down just a little after halfway, but the question will be as to whether or not him and Cameron Busch will go down pit road in these last few laps. With all the questions surrounding whether or not Hoferber or Cameron Busch could be able to win this race, the real question will be as to whether or not these two drivers can make it the rest of the way. If 4 laps to go, we look at lap times, they're in the 40-second mark. Last time, the drivers went down pit road about 30 laps ago, and their times were over about 41 seconds. So if these lap times start beginning to go a lot less, you could be seeing maybe a few drivers heading down pit road, which would cause a lot of chaos for these last few laps. 4 to go in today's race. Sorry. You see Bob Ross is also charging the field. He made that time go from 3.5 seconds to 2.5 seconds. But my point still stands that it's going to take a lot of power from that 5 car to get up towards the front of the field in less than 3 laps. Bob Ross led a lot of laps earlier in today's race. It just may not happen for Bob Ross in the 5. It may happen for either Cameron Busch in the 40 or JJ Hoferber in that 3. Real question will be as to whether or not Hoferber can manage to take that Pennzoil V power Indycar. I think that's a, is that a Honda? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the actual manufacturers are, but it would be a close call to take either that 3 car or that 40 car to victory lane. We're hitting the 2 to go mark this time by. It's now or never for that 40 car, as JJ Hoferberg is really trying his hardest to. He doesn't want to celebrate now because anything could happen. At any turn, it could happen that we could see a pass for the lead. Any turn, any corner, anywhere. It may be anywhere that Cameron Busch could strike and take the lead away, as he has less than a little less than 3/10 of a second to try and regain. Coming out of turn 3, JJ Hoferberg is going to lead these guys to the final white flag of the Verizon IndyCar Verizon IndyCar Series. JJ Hoferberg will lead them to the white flag. Bob Ross just is gaining a lot of time, but he's just not going to have enough, as he's still about 1.5 seconds behind. But the top 2 drivers now, JJ Hoferberg, Cameron Busch, battling down the backstretch. It's probably not going to be enough for Cameron Busch to get the lead. Coming into turn 3, JJ Hoferberg with probably the most important victory of this season. Coming down the front stretch, here he comes. JJ Hoferberg will win the Verizon IndyCar Series Championship and get his name into the NASCAR Mountain Dew Kickstart Series. JJ Hoferberg with an impressive victory after pit stops. Made him get a lot of good tires and a good position. He deserves that victory with great strategy. See the final standings right now. You can see Connor Patrick finishing last, and that's not where he wants to be, but he'll be able to leach it anyway. Congratulations to JJ Hoferberg for winning the Verizon IndyCar Series Championship. We will see him and you on the NASCAR Mountain Dew Kickstarter Cup Series. When will the first episode be? That will have to probably come a week or 2 during the return, a week or 2 after the return of the PRN Racing Series. We'll find that out. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching this Verizon IndyCar Cup Series. I keep saying Cup for some reason. Verizon IndyCar Series. We will see you guys on the track for the NASCAR Mountain Dew Kickstarter Series. If you have not signed up yet and you're eligible to sign up, go ahead and sign up. And give me your request for sponsors and give me everything that you need. But if you aren't allowed to sign up because you're in the Piston Cup Series, Warner Cup Series, or you're even in this series, then you missed the Verizon IndyCar Series. You missed your chances of winning, and you missed your chances of getting into that series. Hoferberg is the only one that's able to get into that series full time. Hoferberg has lost his opportunity to leach, but he's still eligible for championships if he decides to rate. It's when he's in the full-time car. So thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you on the track for the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Series. See you guys on the track for the Mountain Dew Kickstarter Series.